University of Tulsa soccer fans will recognize these names: Jake McGuire, Bradley Bourgeois, Juan Sanchez, and Quentin Duncan. What's the common thread with those four? They're all Hurricane players who came from MLS Academies, a relatively new concept in soccer player development over the last decade. The academies were born out of the desire for Major League Soccer in the U.S. to develop their own talent.
So it probably started, I don't know, maybe 8 to 10 years ago. It was a real strong initiative with the MLS, and that's when they started forming these academies. So they're, some of them are bringing in kids, forming teams as young as 10, 11 years old.
That concept is new to the U.S., but is borrowed from international teams who have been doing it for years.
That's where, really where the MLS gets their ideas. It's from, whether it's South America, Europe, pretty much all over the world. That's how soccer is done. Barcelona has an under-11 team. It doesn't matter. Any of the major clubs around the world, have youth teams.
It was basically all the best kids in Kansas City would go and try out for this team, and maybe 18 were selected, so it was kind of an honor to be a part of that club.
The process of being in an MLS Academy is you really get to play with some of the best talents in the U.S. I mean, in my experience, I got to play with a lot of players that ended up making it pro.
The ancillary benefit for college soccer teams in the U.S. is only a small percentage of the players through these academies get immediate pro contracts. That leaves players such as TU's Chase Bromstead and Malik Henry Scott available to the collegiate ranks.
You're pretty naive at the beginning. You want to be a pro, you want to be this, you want to be that. But then you see other players as prospects. They're training with the first team. They're excelling and at the highest level, and you're seeing yourself and you're just like, man, how am I not starting? Why am I on the bench this game?
Of all those kids that are coming through every year, there's only 2, 3 kids that might kind of get pushed into the lower pro levels, to start. So then the rest of them are going to college.
At the academy, you kind of know if you're in the loop or not going pro. So, around junior year, you start looking at colleges, and it's, college was kind of like a backup plan in my situation.
I'm my senior year, and usually around that time, like, you pretty much know if you're a prospect or not. Like, if you're training with the first team, if you see yourself getting minutes or just training with them, then you kind of see yourself as a prospect. But for me, I never had the opportunity, so I knew I had to choose a college route. So I was already looking at colleges.
No, it wasn't a disappointment. I was actually pretty excited to go to school. But yeah, it was kind of just a different path from all the other kids. Obviously, I had in the back of my mind that I wanted to get a good education.
That doesn't mean the dream to play professionally dies. McGuire and Bourgeois used their development at TU to become professional players, and some are simply late bloomers and can use the college system to get better.
To be able to still get an education while continue development and play soccer at a very high level, I think college is a tremendous, opportunity. Also, I think universities, we have resources here that even they don't have in terms of our strength and conditioning, in terms of sometimes, nutrition.
The diet they put you on, doing weights, in the spring, off seasons, we're doing weights 3-4 times a week, running, doing all that stuff, and they're making sure you're keeping up with your weight, so they're really, really putting you on it.
Coach McIntosh says with the rigorous training 5 days a week and playing on weekends and the fierce competition, MLS kids come to TU with a better idea of the ups and downs they might experience in the college game. And for Chase, a finance major, and Malik, an exercise and sports science major, that education at Tulsa is a huge part of the soccer equation.